Hello and welcome. This is Sandeep. I am a Java developer myself with many years of experience, and I have been coaching in Java. So this is my first session with you all. So my aim is to make it more practical and more developer oriented coaching. Okay, so how just to get an idea about let's start with the objectives. What's the objectives of this session? Objectives is to create, compile, and run Java programs, understand about primitive data types, and Java control flow, methods, arrays, and object-oriented programming concepts, followed by understanding of core Java classes. So, following this course, you will be able to develop programs, write simple programs using primitive data types, control statements on Zoom. It's recording, right? It says, okay, resume recording. Okay, now it started. Okay, fine. Okay, thanks. Okay, yeah, so the course objectives is to develop programs, write simple programs using primitive data types, control statements, methods, and arrays, create and use methods, develop object-oriented programs, write some interesting projects, and establish a firm foundation of Java concepts. Basically, the idea is to make you into a coding ninja in Java, hopefully. Yeah, what's a Java career path? I think you might have already come across this. So you can become a front-end developer by learning these set of technologies in the left, like HTML, JavaScript, Angular, and all these things. Or a back-end developer. To start with back-end developer, you have to learn core Java. That's what this course is all about, the core logic. And then Spring Boot, Hibernate, and related technologies are all available. So fundamentals of programming, introduction to Java, primitive data types. So basically I have so this is the course outline basically. So we'll have introduction on HTML, JavaScript as well after we complete the core Java fundamentals, JavaScript design patterns, and jQuery, Bootstrap, backend integration using we'll create some basic application in a web-based environment. So yeah, today's session is mainly on giving an overview of core Java basically. So that's these slides I'll try to follow and give you an overview of Java, assuming you're new to Java. So this slide is basically on around for core Java developers. Okay. So we'll go through on object-oriented programming concepts like objects and classes, strings, inheritance and interfaces, object-oriented software development features. This is a high-level overview. I'll get into the details of it in the following sessions. So there is more advanced features in core Java itself, like exception handling, internationalization, and things like that. We'll focus more on practical aspects. So I'll just give you an overview on introduction on Java. So let's get started with what is Java. Can anyone tell me What do you understand by Java? It's a high-level programming language. You do you, know C is also a programming language, right? Or then how is Java different from C? Main thing is object-oriented. Okay. Moment. So has everyone gone through this basics of core Java? So I can move further then. Let's yeah, instead of going through all this. Yeah, let's. This is interesting actually. C and C plus. What is difference between Java C and C? Because I see some developer, some of you have C knowledge. So C is mainly the procedural language. Java is purely object oriented. So object-oriented programs solve real-world problems, and C programs are procedural, and it's mainly for writing system drivers and system-related stuff. But Java, it's for solving real-world problems like banking applications or ATM applications or anything of that sort. And it was developed in 1991, and mainly it is automatic memory management. If you see here in the allocation in the C world, you if somebody, most of you have used, then you have to allocate memory yourself. But in the case of Java, it's automatic and it's faster to develop. Yeah, so really most of the things are readily available in Java. So object-oriented programming, the world, there are other programming languages also like Python, which is much more advanced than Java, but it's used in the scientific world, and Java is mostly used in the enterprise business world. Okay, Java applications. We have Java used in rockets or by ISRO and NASA scientists, along with mobile applications, desktop applications, web-based applications, and all these things. Just to this slide goes gives an overview of the history of Java. It was developed by James Gonsling, and there are various versions of JDK. This is a timeline of the various versions, and it's one of the most used programming language, and we have various frameworks like Spring, Struts, GWT. Most popular is Spring, which will come to I'll give you an overview in the following sessions. So features of Java: it's platform independent, simple, distributed. All these features you can go through. I'll share this slide. Okay, let's start into the depths of JDK. So what do you understand by a JDK? Anyone? JDK is Java Development Kit. It's like a kit for Java developers. So it has all the packages and the programs which are used to compile the code and convert them into bytecode and then execute them as a program. Okay. So if you have installed JDK, then it will be something like this. So yeah, so key one is the Java C. Java C is the Java compiler. Java P, you're asking, it's not specific for this application. I am not sure about Java P because we never use it. I think it's something related to the other tools which you use, like the IDEs. Like for example, Java W is headless and it's used by IDEs. And Java is the actual executing program. That's the tool which we use. And Java doc is for generating Java documentation. So mainly you need to know what is Java C and Java. That's enough. And these are all the runtime libraries like rt.jar, java.w.jar. All these are libraries which gives you ready-made packages for running your programs. We'll come to know about this as we go. Okay, and JVM is the Java virtual machine where the programs run at runtime. So we have JDK at the top level, which comprises of all these things. JVM, which is the virtual machine for running the programs, and JRE is a set of developer tools and the everything. Is that okay? Shall we go to the next slide? Yeah, this is important for you, understanding of JDK, JRE and JVM, because this is, yeah, I'll keep it limited. And yeah, there are several editions like JDK editions for the standalone client applications and mobile applications, and the enterprise edition is for running the application on the server. Okay, let's get into the Java programming itself, because I think you have already have some hands-on. So yeah, so first thing, has everyone installed JDK and Eclipse? If anyone has not installed, please message on the chat, or you can speak up. For the sake of completeness, I'll just share you the links which I am using. I'm using Eclipse IDE and JDK 8. Okay, hope you got it. Okay. So this is how a JDK will look. It will have all the under the bin. It will have all the Java, Java C, and all those tools, Java W and all that. And JRE is where the Java libraries are available, like what I mentioned in this slide. All these RT.jar, JC.jar, all these things. Okay, let's start with the application development. So you have already started development. So can you tell me what is this? What does this do? Yeah, that's fine. So what is a package? Yeah, it's fine. What is public? So it has to be declared public. Right, great. And we are saying that this is a class with this name, and this is with brackets we open and close. And what is this? What do you call this? Good. Okay. And this is the main method which takes the arguments. Anything you can pass inputs. What is this? String array. Okay, good. So this is arguments which we pass to this main method. Okay. And what is static? Okay, I'll go through that later. Void is the return type. I think you have in C program you have the void, which is the return type, and it's not returning anything, so it is void. So this is the signature of the main method. Okay, nice. So you want me to this is the class, keyword, and this is the class name. This is the static keyword, and this is the return type void, and public is again a keyword, and rest all things I think you have a handle on this. Okay, so what is happening? So let me just run this program using my Java compiler. So I am on Mac, but for you If you are on Windows, it's straightforward. You just have to use command prompt and say Java minus version. Yeah, for basic learners to understand what is inside what is happening inside, it's good to learn. That's my preference, but it's up to you. But if you want Eclipse, you can start with Eclipse also. But it's always good to learn the basics from the terminal. Yeah, Java minus version. Just type Java minus version. Let me send it here. So what do you see? Hello. What happened? Like Notepad and all that. All it is doing is just helping you to simplify the development. So for example, if I have to run this program on a terminal on command prompt, what I have to do is I have to go to the folder where I have written the Java programming. So it will be like I have to compile this using Java C hello world .java. Now I have compiled. So if I see, I have compiled and generated a class. Okay, and if I want to run it, I have to do Java hello world, and it is printing the output. So all these steps it will reduce when you are using a IDE like Eclipse or IntelliJ. Any questions on Eclipse? Yeah, for that we can use debugger. In Eclipse there is the option to do debugging. So we'll come to that next. I'll go through one by one, step by step. So because I am not aware of what you have learned so far, so I am going through the all the basics. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, please tell me. Okay, thanks. Okay, let's create and compile a program. So this is my first program. Let's write it. So what you do is you open up a notepad or editor or anything, or if you have already installed Eclipse, you can open Eclipse and just create a new program by right clicking on it, new and class. Say hello.java. So it has created a class with the name and having defaults like public class hello and all that. Okay, so make static void main. What is the parameter we need to pass? String array. Yes. Yeah, you can say give any name, args or arguments or whatever you want, you can give. This is a variable. So the important thing is this one. This is the data type string. Okay, and to print something, what we use in Java is system.out.println, and we put a semicolon in the end. So main method is the starting method in this class, which will be called, like in C programming there is a starting method which will be called, right? In Java, main method is used to call by default. So you don't need to tell call me main method, but when I run it, I need to do as run Java application. It will say hello world. Okay, so main method is the one which will be executed first in the program. Is it clear, Ajit? Oh yes. Yes, it is required. Okay, let's say in the real world there is access. Let's say you have a public place, it's a park, you can go to that place, it's a public area. So but if it's a office, let's say it's a private area, you can't go into that office. Okay, so this access modifier tells the program whether I should execute this or not. It's publicly accessible or not. For this program, for Java, this will be, if I make it as private, it will not be accessible. Let me run this now. If I make it private, what happens? I'll show you. Yes, it will not execute. It is not allowing me to run at all. So it needs this as a public. So it's giving some error here. The method for the type is never used locally. So you have to make it public. So the program, Java program, when you compile and run it, it will understand this is public and this is the signature. You just need to do every time the same thing. Okay. Now if I run it, it runs. So Eclipse also has some shortcuts like S out, and you use control space. It will automatically code complete for you instead of you typing. But for starters, it's better you just type everything. Yes, it's a function. It's like in C program, you can think of it as a main function, the starting function. So you see what's the output? Hello world and step 1. Yes? So now I put step 2. Let's see what it prints. Step 1, step 2. It's printed hello world. Okay. Now, so one of you have asked about debugging, right? In Eclipse. So you can use put a breakpoint by double clicking here like this, and you can right click debug as Java application. So what the Java compiler is doing internally, and while running the bytecode, what it is doing, you can have control over the code. And this is very important for Java developers to learn debugging. Okay. So now I put a breakpoint, and I can see that the main Java program this is the Java program which has called hello.main class and its main method, and it has taken no arguments. I can see like what is the arguments being passed. There is nothing. And next I can go step by step debugging like this. So to go to the next step, what you have to do is you have to click. Oh, this window is a bit. Yeah, so what you have to do is this is the next step. So you have control coming to this line and you can see the output as hello world. So next step, when I move next, it will say step 1. Okay, so I am putting a breakpoint and making it to move one step at a time. It's like running the code in slow motion. Are you understanding? So to go step by step, what you use is step over F6 key like this. Yeah, and it has printed all these 3 and it's coming to the last and it's ending. So meaning of debug. Debug is to slow down the execution of program so that you can see what's happening inside the program. So if when the computer runs, it's very fast. Within nanoseconds, it will try to run all these commands. But when you put a breakpoint and use debug, you can see each individual line what it is doing. Let's say I have a variable and I have some issues in the code. I need to find out what is happening. Then I have to debug it. So let's say I is equal to 1 and I am trying to print this number. Okay, let me do it again. I'll show you. So what you have to do is right click on the program, debug as Java application. Before that, what you have to do, you have to put a breakpoint. You see this blue dot? I have removed it. Now it won't put a breakpoint. Breakpoint is something like putting a brake on the running program. Like you have a bike and you want to stop the bike, you'll put brakes, right? Like that. Here is the breakpoint. Yes, you can add anywhere, as many as you want. It will put this blue dot. Okay, let's say I have put it here and I want to jump here, then I can do that also. It is possible. So let's say I want to run this again. Right click, debug as Java application. So it has come to this breakpoint. Otherwise it will simply run everything. I hope it's clear. Right. So these are the steps you can use in this breakpoint. Step over and step into. Step over is to skip to the next step. For now you just learn this step over, okay? Yes? Yes, get seeing the errors, like you see here, there's this debug shell. and you can also view the variable value, what it is. You can use this watch, and you can see what's the value of this I variable. It's showing as 1, and also you can modify this, and you can test what is happening and all that. Okay. So you have this variables shown here, right? So you can see the variables, what is the arguments it's passed, I, what is the value and all that. So this is very useful, and it's very important that you start debugging sooner than later, so you understand what's happening in the program. Let's say I am writing a math calculator and I want to see what's happening, and issue is not there. Then otherwise, one way is to debug is to put system out println everywhere, and other ways to use this debugger. As you go, you'll learn. Okay. So the green one is showing what step the code is in. So it has completed all these steps. And it has stopped. Okay. So this is the Java application which got terminated. Is this clear?